Welcome back to the Nick Cage Fight Podcast, the only podcast where we will steal American documents and sell them to Russians. No, wait, that other kid did it on Discord. Fuck, okay, it's not just us then. I'm one of your hosts, Rich, joined today by my other two hosts, one of which normally does this, which is Josh and Ryan. How are we feeling?
Still ashamed, but bolstered by my friends and colleagues making up for my shortcomings.
I am completely overtaken with patriotism.
Yeah, that's what this movie will do, actually. So where we left off our intrepid heroes. They were in Philadelphia trying to figure out a cipher. Now, as they do this, Riley is the one, Justin Bertha, is figuring out the cipher, but he is like too scared to go into the Franklin Institute. So he finds this little kid on a school trip and he pays him $1 for every 5 letters. So he tells him, the key to the cipher of what he needs. And the kid comes out and gives him 5 letters at a time. So as this is happening, Ian shows up at the same time. Ian is Sean Bean. And Sean Bean kind of sees this kid run in, write down 5 letters and run out, and then run back in and write down 5 letters. He's like, this is weird. So he goes out to see what the hell is going on. As this is happening, we get most of the cipher, which reads, "The vision to see the treasured past comes as timely shadow crosses in front of the house of pass," and we don't get the last word because as the last word is being filled out, Sean Bean becomes wise to this and runs out to try to catch our heroes. Except the heroes are gone, and the kid is like, "Hey, where's that guy? I have the letters for him," but he doesn't care. He already has the money, so we don't need to worry about that too much. It's because Justin Bertha figured out that the last word is stow, because as he's sitting there waiting, a city bus drives by with a picture of the Liberty Bell, and it has the word stow on it with the last couple of lines. So he just figures it out and dips. It's referring to the casters of the Liberty Bell, which was pass and stow. So that's essentially where we were at, and we were talking about the because we kind of glazed over that part, but where we're really at is he has the glasses with the the jeweler's lenses on it, but they're all different colors.
I do have to issue a correction to something I said last episode.
Yes.
So I mentioned that Ben Franklin joked about instituting daylight savings time to save on resources like candles and oil, but in the movie, Riley is correct in that daylight savings time does not come to America until World War I, and then is abolished and then reinstituted in World War II, and that's why we deal with it today. But my historical anecdote is from Ben Franklin wrote a satirical article in 1784 for the Journal of Paris, or Journal de Paris, where he's joking that Parisians should change their sleep schedules to save money on candles and lamp oil, while personally flouting that and using a bunch of candles and lamp oil to stay up all night reading and having sex with prostitutes. So the movie is correct historically, but I was also correct that Ben Franklin mocked this idea years prior.
He just wanted to fuck a bunch of prostitutes. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But dude knew how to have a good time is all I'm saying.
He did. That's why they wouldn't let him be president.
So Nick Cage then puts the glasses on. It looks like the back of the Declaration of Independence, and it's like this weird, trippy picture that says "here" at the wall. And "here" is spelled with 3 E's. It's HEERE, which he immediately says, so you know that it is important. As they're doing that, they see Sean Bean and a bunch of henchmen approach, and there is a giant chase scene that lasts 10 minutes that basically just ends with Sean Bean getting the Declaration of Independence, but our heroes holding on to the glasses. as this is happening, Nick Cage and Justin Bertha and Abigail get caught by the FBI. The FBI is trying to, figure this out too. And, Nick Cage essentially saying, like, is there any way where this ends where I don't go to jail? And Harvey Keitel just looks at him and says, well, someone's got to go to jail. Like, that's how it ends. And he's like, there's two roads for you. Road one is you don't help me, you go to jail for a long time. Road two is you help me, you still go to jail for a long time, but you feel better about yourself. Which, I kind of liked. It seemed like a very FBI thing to say. So Nick Cage is essentially like, okay, fine, I'm a historian. I would rather, if I'm going to jail anyway, I'll help you guys. So Ben explains everything to Sandusky, Harvey Keitel, which is still just an unfortunate name. If only they could see 5 years in the future. And Keitel asks for help from Nick Cage to get the Declaration of Independence back. And, he's like, okay, sure. As Harvey Keitel is fiddling with the ocular device, the glasses with all the different lenses, you see Nick Cage kind of look at it like a lightning bolt struck in his brain, but we don't know why yet. What Harvey Keitel is doing is like kind of fiddling with the lenses, like taking them up and down and everything, because when Nick Cage looked at it, he was only looking at it with the main lenses. All the other lenses were up. So he's like, okay, something must be going on with these lenses. As Nick Cage and Harvey Keitel are together in like the little FBI black site they set up, Nick Cage gets a call from Sean Bean that says, I need those glasses. Nick Cage agrees, and they agree to a meet. Sean Bean then says, to all of you FBI people listening, if you get involved, I will shred the Declaration of Independence.
He threatened to Banksy him?
Yeah, basically, because he said he would turn it into confetti. So the FBI is going to take this opportunity to arrest everybody, basically. They agree to meet at the USS Intrepid.
Indianapolis?
Yeah, there were sharks everywhere.
In the Hudson River?
At this time of year?
So they...
localized entirely in the Hudson River?
More likely than you think.
So
I think we've ran through every internet joke on this one. Let's move forward.
I think so. So they meet there, and like there's FBI guys all over the place. There's people everywhere. It's like a U.S. monument and shit. So there's kids all over the place, FBI agents all over the place, and we see a guy where I actually thought this was shot like it was shot well, because I was just like, is this man just pulling out a gun in the middle of like a place with thousands of children? So we see this guy reach down, and all we see is, the butt end of a gun and a trigger. And he pulls it up and points it at Nick Cage, and he pulls the trigger. But there's no gunshot. It's a jammer. So it's jamming the feed, because they know that Nick Cage is wearing like a wire. So it's jamming the feed between Nick Cage and the FBI guys. So we do not hear this conversation. Well, we do hear the conversation, but the FBI people don't. And we only get bits and pieces of it. So when it's done being jammed, Nick Cage says to the FBI guys, I think that I found option C. And he jumps off the boat into the water. When he's down there, you see somebody who's already down there grab his leg and pull him further down and jam a breathing device into his mouth. And they swim basically to New Jersey underwater so nobody sees.
It was a mermaid.
It was a mermaid, yes. In a part that I find very funny, they say like, Mr. Gates, welcome to New Jersey, as if it's like this mythical new country where jurisdiction does not apply.
It is, and it doesn't.
But then the very next scene, they're driving back into New York City. The very next scene, they're driving back into New York City. So we find out that as this is happening, Abigail and Justin Bartha have also cut their own deal, not knowing that there was a deal being cut between Nick Cage and the FBI agents. And their deal was Sean Bean would rescue Nick Cage. They would basically have all of the information, and in exchange, Nick Cage would bring him to the treasure. So that's all Sean Bean cares about. So he's like, deal done. Everything is like being tracked on GPS so that, so that there's no double cross, essentially. So they are waiting outside of Wall Street and Broadway. There's this whole, like, not like speech, but like Broadway used to be called there was a different name for Broadway. I forget what it is. Ryan, do you remember what the name was
it's
for Broadway?
Here, and it was Dutch.
Yes.
So the weird spelling of here at the wall, here being the original Dutch name for for Broadway.
For Broadway, and Wall Street used to literally be a wall.
Yeah.
That was like the first defense against the British. And when the British took the island, they just made it a street and called it Wall Street. So
good. So we can blame Wall Street on the Brits too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Solid.
At that point, Nick Cage just tries to like get away from him, and he's just like, here, you're at the treasure. It's here at the wall. This is where it is. See you. And he's like, you know what? No, I don't like this arrangement anymore. I have more men than you. I fulfilled my end of the deal, and we have a lot of guns. So we're just going to kidnap you now. So, Nick Cage at this point, it says that, okay, we have to go into Trinity Church, which was the logo on the map that we see. That's like the last clue that we know about. So while we're in Trinity Church, he puts the glasses back on, and this time he fiddles with the additional lenses on the glasses. And we see on the back of the Declaration of Independence where it says here at the wall, it says beneath Parkington Street. Or no, I'm sorry, beneath Parkington Lane, which they figure out refers to an ancient street that was once located beneath the church.
Well, that's what they guess. That's not actually the answer.
Right, because the actual answer is when they were exploring the church, they find the name Parkington Lane, which in this story is an old Knights Templar. I kind of want to go to Trinity Church now and see if there is like just a fucking graveyard buried underneath it. I'm sure there's not, but
not sure.
We're gonna get kicked out of that church like we're at fucking Comet Ping Pong looking for their basement.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go strapped as hell and say, "Bring me to the kids."
Show me Parkington Lane.
Sir, are you drunk? It is 2 p.m. Yes, I am.
Of course I am. Storming a church.
So, in one of the funnier scenes, at least I got a good chuckle out of this. They're like, "Oh, Parkington Lane," and Nick Cage starts launching into like explaining to what it is, but before he can get 5 words out, you see a dude just charge with a sledgehammer and start knocking down the wall to Parkington Lane.
And then we get a coffin drop.
We do. Corncob TV is alive and well.
It is.
Hell yeah.
I'm
not worried about it.
They're saying we can't air 24 hours of Coffin Flop. They're saying that we actually cut out holes so that the bodies drop. We didn't do that.
We're allowed to film them. They ain't got no souls.
So they pull out the coffin and the body just drops out. To which they say, hey, don't step on that. And they kind of place the coffin just over the dead body, which was very funny.
I love it.
But while this is happening, we see like a big old trap door to which everybody just goes and walks down. Sean Bean turns and says, hey, if anybody comes out and I'm not here, to shoot him. Now, it's a kid's movie, so he says to the guys, use your imagination, but we know what he means. One thing I skipped, and I am so sorry about this. The reason why Nick Cage is agreeing to do all of this is because they kidnapped his father. So his father's there.
The Voight has been captured.
The Voight's been captured. He's there. He hasn't done anything important yet, but he's about to. That's why it just popped in my brain.
You know what they say, when you stare into the Voight, sometimes the Voight stares back.
They do say that, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. The Voight stares back on this one. So that's why Nick Cage is doing all this. So as they are walking down, it is Sean Bean, a henchman, John Voight, and our three main characters. And they go through like this little trap door, and it's like this gigantic hole in the earth that is just filled with products and services, like just to the brim. You
So
have
many
never,
gas station dick pills.
you have never seen so many Rhino 69s in your life.
Scrooge McDuck dives into a vault of gold coins. Now imagine Rhino dick pills.
Yeah, imagine it's me, and imagine just Rhino dick pills, and I am just jumping into them, mouth open, fully engorged.
It's like a shark approach, but with an erection.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. It's a backstroke. So enjoy these. Enjoy this gigantic hole full of products and services.
Now that hole has been filled with products and services.
Yes, just a void filled. So they basically they go down into this hole. They have no choice. It's because of the implications.
What are they on a boat?
And you know they can't say no because of the implications.
So, I do have to ask you guys about this because
we might have to answer.
So, all right. So again, I'm following along with somebody else's notes instead of mine this time. And it says when they reach the bottom of this hole, which is the part we're at, right?
Yeah, but there is no.
I mean,
bottom.
there's an Indiana Jones where they like fall and like the declaration's almost lost, and it's
Okay.
kind of boring.
So and like a henchman falls in, but like you don't hear a splat. Like this thing is going to the Earth's core, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. So is this where they find a quote huge set of stairs and a dumbwaiter?
Yes.
Yes.
The dumbwaiter is what's supposed to be bringing them down, but they all collectively weigh too much, and it ends up like snapping, and somebody falls.
Oh, okay. So I am having trouble following the timeline because I'm not good with history. But dumbwaiters were invented in 1883. Isn't like the set off of all of this stuff and the treasure like 1776?
I believe you are correct. Yes.
At the latest, when was Andrew Jackson president? The early 1800s, like 1816.
I don't know. The only figure I have in front of me is when dumbwaiters were invented.
Now I
okay.
have
I think that's referring
Andrew
specifically to like a household dumbwaiter, not the general concept of an elevator, which is like what this technically would be, because we had those as far back as like 200 BC is the first archaeological evidence of there possibly being a series of ropes that can pull something up.
Okay, electric elevators were invented in 1880. They were patented in 1887. Dumbwaiters preceded them by just a couple of years with 1883, but those aren't electric. So
no, this is not electric either.
Yeah, this is a pulley system.
It's a like a counterweight pulley.
So the description in the synopsis, maybe they used the wrong word with dumbwaiter, but
I think they did, yeah.
1883 is the first time we're talking about a pulley operated dumbwaiter.
An in-house dumbwaiter. Dumbwaiter implies that it's like one of those small little elevators used to either move laundry or food,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if we go back to like the Roman Colosseum, they had like 25 elevators that were man-powered to move animals and shit. So like it's closer to one of those.
Okay, all right. So it's we just have a nomenclature issue there.
Exactly.
So also I was looking up where when Andrew Jackson was president. So I get to Wikipedia, I type in the name Andrew, and
did it immediately come up with Andrew Jackson Jihad?
No, it immediately came up with Andrew Tate and then Andrew Jackson. And I'm just like, is my brain that broken at this point?
He's just a more popular Andrew right now.
What if I
People
type in Andrew Jackson? When will Andrew Jackson jihad? Oh, it's not even.
Is Andrew Jackson racist parrot on there?
Oh, because on Wikipedia they're listed as AJJ.
Oh, right. I forgot they changed their name to that like a couple of years ago.
I forgot his parrot wasn't explicitly racist as far as we know. He was just belligerent and had to be removed from the funeral for cursing, which
It was
is
probably
honestly
racist.
fucking hilarious.
It was probably racist.
Honestly, given what we know about Andrew Jackson, yeah. But again, as far as the historical record is concerned, it just wouldn't stop saying cuss words during his funeral, so it had to be removed.
So yeah, there's like an action scene. Somebody falls into the never-ending hole. None of the main characters die because it's a Disney movie. Yeah, so they get into like what essentially used to be what they think is the treasure room, and it's empty. So Sean Bean is like, what the fuck? Nick Cage says like, I don't know. I don't know what to do now. There's no more clues. We're out of clues. So Sean Bean says like, well, you better. But this is what's going to happen is I'm going to go back to the surface, and you three, or you four, because now his dad is with him, you four stay here and think about it. So Nick Cage's dad, John Voight, panics and says, no, the lantern is the clue, and basically tells them to go to the church in Fallout 4. I always forget what it's called. It's the church in Fallout 4.
The Old North Church in Boston.
Yeah.
Paul Revere shit.
Yes, because he says, like, it's got to be a Paul Revere thing. One if by land, two if by sea. It came one by land, and there's one lantern here.
Which is leveraging Sean Bean's lack of knowledge of American history, because it was definitely two by sea.
Yeah, it was two by sea. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go to Boston. You guys are all going to stay here. To which John Voight goes, well, what if I just lied to you? He's like, points a gun at him. He's like, did you? And he's like, no. Yeah. All right, then, bye.
Should have waterboarded that old man.
But it was a trick this whole time. Because as soon as they get out of like eyesight, John Voight and Nick Cage just start looking around for things.
Specifically because they know that if you were going to dig a hole that big back in the day, you dig another hole to let air in as well, so you don't end up like getting caved in.
Right. So he explains that like he gave a fake clue and that it was two by sea, yada yada yada. As Nick Cage is like exploring the room, he finds, one of the all-seeing eyes, like, the one on the dollar bill that everybody says, like, do you see? This is why the government is Illuminati. He sees one of those. And he finds like a button like by his feet right under it. He pushes the button and it goes to a treasure room, and that treasure room is empty. It's been cleared out. It's gone. This is where we get the maybe the real treasure was the friends we made along the way. And everybody is just, generally like disappointed. Nick Cage is just like, what the fuck? This sucks. We came all this way and we're going to die. This is actually the point where Nick Cage says, no, wait, they would have built an access tunnel in case of a cave-in. So there has to be another room. So they're just trying to live at this point. They think the treasure's gone. They're just trying to get out at this point. So they're all looking, and Nick Cage finds one more symbol with like an alcove carved in it, like a small one, and he looks at it, looks familiar.
Honestly, at this point, I was legitimately like, it can't be this dumb. It can't be a fucking Resident Evil puzzle. It's just a Resident Evil puzzle.
It is. And he literally says, like, it can't be this simple. Because we all remember the first clue, which was the secret lies with Charlotte. He takes out the pipe, and the pipe fits perfectly into this little hole.
And he takes the stem off of the pipe and crams it into another hole, and then it's a little crank.
Yeah, I have a question about this.
Yes.
So Sean Bean stole the pipe. Why does
I don't know why he has it back.
No, because he gave it back to him when they met here at the wall.
Okay, I must have missed that.
He didn't think he needed these things anymore, so he gave Nick Cage back the Declaration of Independence.
He needed to open up that inventory space in his attaché case.
Yes. Yeah, clearly. Okay.
Yeah, right, so that's
pretty dumb.
So our heroes have the Declaration of Independence and the pipe. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. Because, Sean Bean's just like, I don't need this anymore. This was a key to a puzzle from a disc ago. I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
This was some disc one
whomst
shit. We're on disc 3.
amongst us can say we've never made that mistake before. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So the door opens and it's like, picture essentially what a treasure room in your mind's eye of things that were around 1,000 years ago, and that's what it is. It's like golden chalices, plates of armor, gold coins.
I've got it. Have you seen The Mummy?
Yeah.
Fraser?
Perfect.
It's the treasure room from The Mummy.
Wait, because again, I have not seen this movie.
You haven't seen The Mummy?
Woefully underprepared. I was thinking like Cave of Wonders, Aladdin style.
A little bit more militaristic.
Yeah,
okay.
It's definitely more like curated. It's not just a bunch of treasure laying around. It's more like a bunch
the Sopranos
of artifacts.
scene where they knock over that one shipping container that has a bunch of World War II shit in it.
Closer to that, yeah.
Okay.
Or like the ending of any of the Uncharted games.
I haven't played those yet.
They're
I'm
not
gonna
very
have to
good.
pick those up.
No, you don't.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So Justin Bartha like starts crying, and like they're just like, you don't need to cry, like this is cool, but like you don't need to cry. And he's like, no, I see stairs, and there's stairs and a door so they can get out.
He's a smarter person than me, because in the description I'm reading there's suits of armor and stuff, and before I ever looked for an exit I'd be like, I'm putting on that suit of armor. I feel like I'm gonna die down here, and if I'm gonna die in a suit of armor. I've said that for years now.
Yeah, so... and it's like all very clearly stolen stuff. Like the suits of armor are like they look to be Japanese. There's like Egyptian stuff. There's Greek stuff.
There is inexplicably scrolls from the Library of Alexandria, which should not fucking exist.
Yeah,
quite.
I mean, if you're gonna go fake, yes. I mean, go hard.
If you're gonna make up an absurd treasure, why not go for broke? I get that at least.
And I love that Diane Kruger's character can like tell that by sight without opening any of the fucking scrolls.
Nobody's like, are you sure those aren't Dead Sea Scrolls? Or you're 100% on the Library of Alexandria thing, right?
Yep, 100%. So they leave...
I love that this is a movie for dumb people about smart people by dumb people. Yeah, it's like it's a dumb person's perception of what a smart person is for every one of these characters.
I feel like I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but it bears repeating because of the symmetry we've drawn between a film like this and the Da Vinci Code, where when that came out, I think I was in high school.
Yeah, we're the same age, so it's like 17.
Sure. And I read it, and I was telling my dad about it, and I was like, yeah, like there's this insane trail of clues, and they were all really obscure, but the last one, the one that you would assume would be the hardest, I knew it was like a biblical reference. And I explained the riddle to him, and he was like, yeah, dumbass, they made that last clue something that the reader could get so they would feel smart. And I'd never felt more dumb than that moment when he pulled the veil back about
this.
Yeah.
Yep. I know I've mentioned it before, but because we referenced Da Vinci Code, I had to bring it up again.
I distinctly remember having this conversation, and I mentioned Umberto Eco's novel Foucault's Pendulum, which is basically a good Da Vinci Code, because the thing at the end of all of the puzzles is, wow, you were that dumb that you needed to spend your entire life doing all of these puzzles. Great job wasting your life.
Yeah, now I know we talked about it, because when you brought that up, I was like, the same Umberto Eco from
The Name of the Rose and Fascism.
Yep. There you go. Time is a flat circle, people.
That it is.
All right, so they get out of the fucking death hole, and immediately, I don't know if they go to the FBI or if the FBI is like just there kind of waiting for them. So Nick Cage meets up with Agent Sandusky again, hands over the Declaration of Independence, and Sandusky's just like, well, what do you want to do? You just handed over your bargaining piece. And he's like, well, how about a bribe? And he says about $10 billion, which is, according to the movie, is approximately what all this stuff is worth, about $10 billion.
Oh, it's priceless. It belongs in a museum.
This is where the movie has not aged well. Because one of the things is they say the founding fathers hid this wealth because no single man should have it. Like there's like 200 people who have $10 billion just lying around and would not notice if it disappeared.
So I gotta sidetrack us real quick. Have you guys? I've just been following it loosely, but have you guys seen in the news there was a gift tax on, I think it was $7 billion that, like, because that sort of shit is like slightly public knowledge or whatever, people are like, what the fuck happened? And they, like, everybody believes some reclusive billionaire died in the last year or so, and nobody knows who it is.
No, I did not see
No.
this.
You haven't heard about this?
I
No.
have not.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, apparently due to some like publicly available tax information, there was like a huge gift tax on, like I said, like $7 billion worth of assets, and people are trying to figure out what mega billionaire died that triggered this, because nobody knows.
That's crazy. I guess when you have that much money, you can buy that kind of privacy.
Yeah, want to know what else they bought? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can tell you a few things, and it's services from this podcast. Daniel Jones is his name. I am ready to reveal it because he was a Patreon of ours. He was not. I don't know where Daniel Jones came from. Anyway, ads and services, shut up. Let's go.
I'll be honest, I was wondering where our several generations supply worth of gas station dick pills came from. So
So that was our mysterious benefactor.
Yes.
that was our Mr. Havisham.
So after he like offers the bribe in kind of like a joking manner, Sandusky then recites a quote from the Freemasons about the treasure being too great for one man, and the camera like pans down to his ring, which is he's a fucking Freemason.
Yep, that's the big reveal.
Yep,
Harvey
that's
Keitel's a Freemason.
So he says, like, what do you want to do with the treasure? And he's just like, I don't want it. Like, split it up. He says to split it up equally between museums in England. He says like the Louvre, the Smithsonian, and
Cairo.
Cairo. Which, like, damn, you're just gonna let the British just keep like 33% of that shit, and the French keep another 33%. And then Harvey Keitel says, well, you know, someone still has to go to jail, right? And he's like, okay, well, about that. And then we cut to Sean Bean breaking into the church in Boston and the FBI just surrounding him and arresting him for essentially all of the crimes committed by Nick Cage.
And all of the crimes he committed as well.
Yes. I'm just saying that Nick Cage gets off light on this one. For a man who literally stole the Declaration of Independence, like, to get no jail time, like, that's some shit right there.
That's a true crime podcast I would listen to.
Oh, we should make that podcast, like the life of Benjamin Franklin Gates. Think we can like
do it like a fucking parody, like do like a full true crime episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like a 10 episode. I'm gonna start writing this, I swear to God.
You're gonna have to read the 6 fucking spin-off books that the series has if you're gonna
I
do
will
that for your background information.
I'll do that.
Down
I'll
for
watch
that.
the show.
I would say we could do a fucking Patreon series where we pretend to be like a wine mom true crime podcast, but
feel
it's
like
just
we'll
the
get sued by
fictional
Disney.
universe.
I
What was
don't
that?
think. I feel like we're gonna get sued by Disney at that point.
No, because it's parody.
They don't believe in parody in
We
Disneyland.
don't have lawyers.
We don't have
We're not
lawyers.
big enough for that.
Well, fuck it.
I'll
What are they
set
gonna
us up
take?
a consultation. We'll figure out whether or not we
Yeah.
can pull this off.
So then we flash forward. Ben and Abigail are dating, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
the joy.
Justin Bertha is like acting as like their agent, being like, you got to go to Cairo in 2 weeks to open up this new museum. And they're like, whatever. I don't want to do it, but fucking okay. And then Riley just keeps bitching about this finder's fee. It's like, we could have had 10%. We could have had 10%, which is $1 billion. He wanted $1 billion.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the math on this real quick.
Well, 10% of 10 billion is 1 billion. So 333 million just divided evenly.
Yeah.
So he just like keeps bitching about it. Then you see him jump into like this super flashy red sports car, and he's like, I only got 1%, which is still $100 million. Or hang on, $100 million, yes, is
No,
1%.
they got 1% of 10 billion
Yeah,
split 3 ways
that should be
is
33 million each.
33,000.
No, 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 no. You are fucking up the math 100%. I refuse to believe this. So 1 billion.
No. You are absolutely right. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I missed a fucking zero. It is $33,333,333.34.
I'm
You got to
so
figure
bad
they
at
rounded
math.
up.
I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, they each got $3 million.
33 million.
Yes. 33
Yes.
million. Yeah.
You're correct.
And he's like bitching about this.
What an asshole.
What an absolute piece of shit. Then in like a weird part, Abigail hands Nick Cage a map and says like it's a treasure map. And he's like, well, what's the treasure? And she's like, oh, you'll find out. And then like runs towards the house that they bought. It's her pussy.
It is her pussy.
That's the treasure.
It's gotta be.
And that's the end of the movie.
That was the real treasure all along.
Pussy was the treasure all along.
Yes.
Well, we made it.
Can't wait to watch Book of Secrets.
I have to watch this and then immediately watch Book of Secrets and do my notes as penance for fucking this one up. But I'm not going to lie, it was very entertaining having a movie explained to me that I have not seen before.
That's not the worst. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. This movie was fine. It was a fine kids movie. It wasn't as good as Sorcerer's Apprentice. How the city of New York has not found a bottomless pit under one of their churches, I'll never know. They have this gigantic subway system. At least with Sorcerer's Apprentice, his like lair was explained as it was like a abandoned subway station. Okay, cool. I get that. Nah, this one just has a bottomless pit in the middle of New York. Hated that part. Would not suspend my disbelief.
Honestly, I again, just going off narrative, the fucking FBI agent being a Freemason at the end and just letting a dude off is rough. Also, the entire premise that a dude with a very crazy secret that should only be trusted to the president of the United States sharing it with a stable hand doesn't really make sense.
I mean, it does when you think that they were drinking nothing but fucking scrump and beer back in the day. That man was hammered. He probably thought that stable boy was the president.
They all
You're
had
the president.
syphilis.
I'm the president.
Mr. President.
Mr. President. Pleased to meet you.
I will say the other thing, and I've thought about this for quite some years. I feel like as a podcast exercise, we should try and join the Masons.
I think I was raised too Catholic for that.
There's one near my work. Like there's like a meeting hall or something like that. Maybe one of these days after work, I'm just gonna knock on the door and be like, how do I join?
Well, okay. So most lodges do have like an open evening, like once a quarter.
Ooh.
Where like people are encouraged to join. Very seldom are they. You normally have to like know a Mason and have somebody vouch for you. Mm-hmm. And most lodges, it has to be a unanimous vote. One no vote and you don't get in. I have a friend who wants to be I have an acquaintance who wants to be a Mason. You both know this person actually, Pepe.
Oh, yeah.
He was like obsessed with becoming a Mason for some reason.
I mean, because it's a secret society.
Yeah, he does enjoy just doing.
He likes his secrets. He won't give me his empanada recipe. He refuses.
Damn it.
I told him I'd give him like some of my family recipes in exchange, but just won't do it.
What a dick.
All right, so I'm pulling up research to see how we can do this. With the inception of the internet, I feel like it's easier than ever to join a secret society. there is definitely a lodge right near me, and I'm going to submit an application.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, if you
Why
disappear,
not?
this is
I
not
mean,
going to be
yeah,
good.
you get your foot in the door, and then we'll ride in on your coattails.
Mm-hmm. I'll vouch for you. The some of the requirements are interesting. I hit almost all of them.
White
The
male over 35.
yeah. No. You only have to be you have to be a dude. This is very much a dudes rock organization. You have to be at least 18. You have to believe in the existence of a supreme being, although Freemasonry is not concerned with theological distinctions or particular religious beliefs. So my dedication to the elder gods is not going to exclude me from this. Good moral character. I'll fudge the numbers on that. Motivated
I mean,
to join
that's
for
subjective to begin with, anyway.
true.
Yeah.
Motivated to join for reasons unrelated to personal gain or profit. And let me tell you something. I don't do anything for personal profit. My living circumstances should be proof enough for the Freemasons. My decision to apply is based on my own free will and accord, which I do feel like that conflicts with some understandings of a supreme being, especially with omnipotence. Or no, what's the one where you know everything? There's
That's
omnipotence,
omniscience.
omnipresence, omniscience. Correct. Okay, so I can't believe in an omniscient supreme being. Be prompted by a favorable opinion of Freemasonry. Yeah, Dudes Rock networking organization.
And they usually have a bar in those lodges.
Ooh,
Yeah.
their favorable opinion is going up.
Yeah.
And be desirous of earning knowledge and willing to conform to the ancient usages and customs of the fraternity. And that is one of the coolest sentences I've ever read. So I'm down. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to submit an application. I will keep everyone posted.
Oh, please do.
But I will not reveal any of our secrets. I say our, assuming I will be accepted at some point.
Oh, I thought you meant the podcast secrets.
Also, that I believe in fraternity in all forms: podcast, secret societies, just dudes rock in general. I will keep your secrets. DM
so we're
me.
going to change the name of the podcast to the Ancient Fraternal Order of Nicolas Cage Fight.
As a matter of fact, yes, we are.
Oh, there are membership fees. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna get a price list.
How much are the membership fees? Does it not say?
It does not say. It
Oh,
says
this
it
is
varies
definitely
from
some
lodge
rich
to
dude
lodge.
shit. This is definitely
was
some
that?
rich dude shit. This is gonna be like $9 grand a year.
Ooh.
It
Yeah,
looks
that's
like
a hard.
there's an initiation fee and annual dues. Look, man.
Yeah, that's how they keep the pores out.
Look, I'm just gonna say, it's either this or a motorcycle gang or the Shriners.
I was going to say Shriners might not be a bad.
There's actually a link to that on the Freemason website. There's Scottish Rite and Shriners International links.
Well, and I mean, like, listen, how much meth will you be cooking in the motorcycle gang? Because that matters.
I don't know. I did take some college level chemistry. I feel like I might be able to up their game.
I
But
think to say I
also,
did take some meth.
also we're in South Jersey, so our options are really limited. It's mostly pagan territory out here,
Yeah.
and they're farm leagues. And one of this is 100% true what I'm about to say. Some of the farm MCs in South Jersey, specifically as like the minor leagues of the pagans, at least one of them locally, their whatchamacallit back patch is
Colors.
100% a Totenkopf. And I saw that at a bar, like somebody wearing a cut with that on the back in very close proximity to where all three of us live. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna find another bar to drink at.
Yeah, no. Usually the bars around here have the no color sign. I'm surprised that he was even in there.
It was in
oh, there you go.
A very popular bar out that way, and it
Wait,
was on
what
their
bar was it? I'm
outside
sorry.
deck. What was that?
bar
Let's
was it?
not
Okay.
dox ourselves.
It was, it was
Yeah.
one. I will
We can
say
beep
this,
out
Rich.
anything.
It's one that you and I have been at together several times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a no colors sign.
They don't.
Because I know that if you go to, well, you can just beep this out. If you go to like there is a big sign that says no colors.
That makes sense.
Yep. 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 The time and place 100% tracks.
Yep.
I think it was maybe 2 to 3 years ago that
Now
I saw
look,
that, and I was like, ooh.
that place has a sign outside that says no colors, but they mean the other kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Although I will say, one of my favorite stories about this bar that we will not name in an effort to not dox ourselves is one time I was there, not at a large festival of any sort, just drinking on, I think it was like a Friday night or something like that. And the friends I was with, again, people that you guys know, P.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The story's about to make sense.
We were coming up on last call, and there was a gentleman there who was blacked out on the bar, like slumped over on the bar. And I witnessed a conversation between a manager and a bartender that I will never forget, where he was like, this guy is really fucked up. And we know he drove here and he's basically blacked out. What do you want me to do, Mr. Manager? And the manager looked at the dude, looked at the bartender, and was like, walk him down the street to the competitor bar that is literally a block away. And the bartender's like, all right.
I know which bar that is too.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
That makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
It is amazing. We live in a weird place, but it's
our
I know
weird
what
place.
kind of trash I am, and it's very localized, so I appreciate it.
So we're not doing any random dice rolls this week because today is the 13th, tomorrow is the 14th, and if you listen to this podcast, you know what that means. Renfield comes out. So we have a group of like 10 of us going to go see Renfield.
I am so fucking excited for this movie, by the way. I've seen some of like the pre-screening reviews and stuff. I've been avoiding spoilers like the plague.
Yes,
but
same.
just like general opinions and stuff. And so let me get you and our listeners excited. One thing that I am super fucking psyched about is apparently everywhere it was practical or possible, rather, they went with practical gore effects.
I did see that interview and I was like,
I didn't
baby,
see that.
sold.
And I am so fucking excited for that because that is 100% up my alley.
That's
CGI,
rare nowadays.
Yeah, CGI versus practical effects, it's night and day. There's no comparison.
What was it? Fucking Sight and Sound that was like, I will not give a movie higher than a B rating if I can tell that the blood splatters were CG.
Yeah.
I'm with them.
I agree 100%. I'm with that on gore effects, and I will say one of the things that makes me upset about CGI is like muzzle flash shit. I get why. I understand the safety concerns, but when you watch action films outside of like the Hollywood specific zeitgeist, you realize what we're lacking in a lot of our action films. But hearing that they tried to stick with practical gore effects and makeup effects as well regarding some of the shit specifically related to Nick Cage's character in the film, I'm psyched about. And it sounds like they're leaning into the campy aspects.
It's supposed to be hilarious. I mean, Ben fucking Schwartz is in it, so
yeah. Horror comedy is one of my favorite genres in general, and the way it sounds like they approach this film, I couldn't be more excited. I'm super psyched about it. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see this movie. It's also, I did look, hour 33.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. They're trying to hit all of our marks on this.
Yeah, and listen, if they're trying to go for the Nick Cage fight stamp of approval.
They are, and it sounds,
and that's fine. Cater to us more.
Absolutely.
So I was thinking we should go in with fucking like white t-shirts that we've Sharpied Nick Cage Fight podcast onto.
we can do, actually, So one of us just pick up.
Like a clutch of white t-shirts and like an
Yes.
extra large.
Yep, 100%. We will go. Yeah, we will figure that out. We will figure that out off
I
air.
would have if
I mean, the thought just dawned on me.
Yeah, no,
so,
because like I would have had t-shirts printed with like an actual logo and like a QR code on the back.
ooh,
No,
that would've
even
been
better.
nice.
We're just gonna get a Sharpie outside the theater tomorrow. Nick
Mhm,
Cage Fight
mhm.
Podcast on the front, Patreon link, and Twitter on the back, and that is what we're going into this film wearing. All of us.
Absolutely.
Oh
And
my god.
every guest that we're bringing as well. We're gonna make them put one on.
Yep. It's gonna be a collector's item.
100%.
Yeah, I'm super excited. The movie theater we're going to has a bar attached, and then we're going to be close enough to Atlantic City that
Oh,
maybe
we're going to
we'll
the
get
good
pizza.
theater. Sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm all
Well,
about
we're
it.
going to the other good. I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Which
this
I
movie.
think we're
if you have-
about
yeah, we're about done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie, good if you have kids. Skip it otherwise. It's not bad, but
It's a B
It's not-
minus. I think I gave it a C plus as my last viewing when at the end of last episode. I was like, it's a C plus movie. It's a B minus. B minus.
yeah, like it's fine. I wouldn't watch it again unless I had to for a podcast. But like, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It was a B,
It's fun.
B minus.
Listen, if you got kids,
I'll watch it.
If,
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you have
For a
to.
podcast.
I do.
If you have kids, it is a phenomenal way to probably spend 2 hours, and they'll be really engrossed, and you can probably watch it back to back with Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it here. Next podcast you're gonna hear from us is Renfield, which is going to be wild because I don't know how Josh is gonna do the notes.
In the dark, in a theater.
In the dark, in a theater.
Analog
in the dark,
style,
in
baby.
the night. So I guess cagefight_pod interact with us on social media. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Twitter.com. Or I'm sorry,
That's
I'm
the
doing
one I
Twitter.com. Oh, you did that? Oh,
I did that.
no, wait, aren't you me? And I'm
Wait,
Josh, and Josh is you?
We got this all fucked up.
Listen, I feel like we have to do face off soon now. Like, this is going to be a face off episode. We're going to do
Oh my
this
god,
again.
face off would have been the episode to do this on.
We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. We're going to wait long enough where you don't remember this.
Face off.
At cagefight_pod. Tweet at us and tell us how you like this movie, I guess. I can't think of anything witty. No, okay. Tell us what brand of gas station dick pills that you like the most. Also tell us what kind of weird flavored Mountain Dew you like to wash your dick pills down with.
Yeah,
I mean,
am
it's
curious about
Baja Blast because I'm good at Baja Blast.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/NickCageFight. $3 gets you episodes without ads. $5 gets you additional content. Subscribe.
$10 allows me to buy more whiskey.
And since
And
we
also,
already
I
fucked this up,
updated the Patreon too. That if you do the $3 tier, put in your birthday, and we'll send you a birthday card from like a Nick Cage birthday card. Because I found like a whole bunch of them.
since we're all shuffled up, I guess we appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
bye-bye.